All right, guys, we're looking at a Bitcoin analysis right now. So far, a lot has happened for Bitcoin. Now, we mentioned about if Bitcoin were to break off of this low that we saw, which was around the 80,000, we were going to see a somewhat of a flush happening. Now, we did see that the moment we did drop below this, we saw a massive red candle on the day. And so far, we've seen about a 7.49% drop. Now, we're slowly recovering, but we're not yet going close back up to that 80K, or at least we're at 78,000. We've yet to actually retest that level. And so this is what we talked about with how if we are seeing them make lows from before, we are looking at weaknesses in Bitcoin. Now, what we were expecting was that two possibilities. First, it was the pullback all the way back to 83K before we see it go down to back to 70K. Or if we were to see it actually break below this 80K low that we saw made over here, we were seeing the price to actually go down. And now we're looking at the same thing where we're still waiting for a pullback, but it looks like this pullback is to see if the price is going to go lower. Now, there's two levels for this pullback. Firstly, it's still that existing level that we talked about coming in at this 83,500 area, because this is where we saw the most consolidation happen. This is where we saw a lot of tapped. So we know that there were positions built here. And right now, if it goes back to that area, the people who bought in here who are now break even, they decide whether or not they think it's a reversal. So they hold on to it and see the price climb back up. Or because they're now back to break even, they don't want to go through that roller coaster again, they start closing their position. So the people who built the positions over here start selling and we see the price going down. So that's what we may be expecting. Or the second level that we're looking at, which is somewhat of a more possible level right now, is this 80K low that we've mentioned in the past. Once again, all of my videos are on the channel for you guys to go back and look at. We are not here to promise that we are 100% correct. We give the possibilities to react and expect what we should be doing. So another thing to look out for is this pullback to this 80K level, which we are already seeing. So after this kind of 7% low that we saw, breaking through this 80K support, breaking through the 84K and the 80K levels, we are looking at this pullback going back to 80K. And so what we were expecting so originally we were expecting this into that. Now what we may be seeing is this, the low, which we've seen created, go into this 80K, which if it rejects, then we're looking back at this 70K. And so that's what you ultimately want to look out for right now. If we were to look at it in terms of the 1 hour, it's pretty much the same thing right now. We're seeing a sort of resistance coming in at here. It looks like people are either taking short positions or of course selling. You can see it really forming up here. These data are of course in the clues. If we want to look at the market structure in the hourly time frame, we had this lower low going into a lower high, making a new lower low, but now it seems like we're failing to make a lower high. It looks like we're going back up to this area. So it really depends on the hourly. Are we going to make a higher high, so breaking out of this previous structure over here? That will be testing back to 83K. Don't let the hourly time frame structure kind of cloud your judgment on the long time frame, because the hourly dictates kind of what's going to happen for the next 10, 14, 15 hours, potentially a bit longer, but the hourly time frame will not dictate kind of what's going to happen for the next week, right? So we have to understand that. So we may be seeing the bullish market structure, but that could just be on its course towards this 84K, 83K that we've mentioned in the past. But still, we're already facing this rejection coming in at the 78K level. So we may still be looking at Bitcoin going low towards that 70K. That's ultimately what you want to look out for. As always, this is financial advice, and I'll catch you guys next time.